really good teams, high-level teams, expose your weaknesses, bring them to the surface, and we're looking at ourselves, we're evaluating ourselves, we're taking a hard look at how we have to improve and get better to not have things like that continue to happen. And there were signs of it coming. It's not like you never want to lose that way, and we're not going to. I'll never tolerate losing that way or accept losing that way, but it happened. The Citadel game, the way we defended and the way we played transition defense was not going to set us up to play that type of opponent. And I mean, there were things that they were doing in the game that we showed the fellas on film about how hard they competed and both ends of the floor. And that's the #1 team, and they're on the floor more than we are. And we did take some charges, but it was in spots, very small spots where we played well enough. So we've had a couple of good days, and hopefully we can move forward. At the end of the day, it is one game, and we have a hell of a schedule in front of us, so we don't have a lot of time to feel sorry for ourselves.
What improvements can you make defensively moving forward specifically?
Well, I mean, we have to have more energy on defense. We have to, things that I talked about early in the season, we got to be scrappy and feisty and, use our quickness. And, it was just not good that I think we allowed our inability to play efficiently on offense to affect our mood and how we defended. So we have to move past that. Where, if we miss a bad shot or we turn the ball over, we have to be able to flip the switch and aggressively play that end of the floor at all times, and that wasn't the case in that game. So it's a mindset thing too to build and develop.
How would you evaluate the way the offense has played the last few games, particularly against Kentucky when the team's that long? Shannon said something about the shots came a little bit too quick. Do you agree with that?
They make it very difficult for you to run your offense. Their ball pressure was phenomenal. I'm not sure that I've seen a player like Fox guard the ball that well. And I thought it was good on film, but it's even more so in person. And then they're in passing lanes, and because their bigs are so good laterally, moving their feet and jumping, they don't even help off anyone. So when your guard penetrates, he better have a plan when he goes in there, because they don't have to help. So they're very unique with their athletic ability. We have to move the ball better. We're talking about that, and I saw it today in practice, making the extra pass, moving the ball, and hopefully we'll start getting to do that a little more.
Coach, you touched on it. You said you got a hell of a schedule coming up, and it starts with UNLV. Just talk about what you need to do to be successful in, I guess, UNLV, and then going forward, because it is quite the test that you guys have coming up.
Yeah, I mean, we're taking it like one practice at a time right now, and UNLV is obviously Saturday, and they're a new team. They're playing hard for their coach, new first-year coach, and they're smaller. They're not a huge team, so that ought to help us some. But we're just trying to get better ourselves right now, regardless of who the opponent is. We need to get an identity and try and do that pretty quickly. I saw some good signs today in practice.
How much does playing teams like that help you build the identity that you're talking about? You're trying to get.
I mean, you never want to lose that way. You never want to feel that way as an athlete, as a player, as a coach, and it's a wake-up call. It's a wake-up call for us, and hopefully, I think that the guys have internalized that, and we can't forget how we felt after that game, and that'll hopefully enable us to practice more consistently at a higher level, so that we carry over those things to the floor when we're playing in games.
How would you evaluate Ramon and Jethro? I know they're freshmen and still early in their careers even, but how have they progressed since the start of the season? So where is that?
Yeah, I mean, like freshmen, they've had their moments. I mean, I thought Jethro's, although he wasn't out there that long due to the foul stuff, some of those fouls, if you have to look in the film, weren't his fault. He had a ball screen where our guard went too soon, and he got an illegal screen. And so some of the things, weren't his fault with the fouls, but he did contest some shots around the basket. He got a few rebounds. He got on the floor for a loose ball, which he was one of the few guys to do that in the game. So I saw some good things about him, and physically he looked like he belonged in that game. So he's gonna get more experience. You know, we're gonna get him out there and get him more minutes along with Ramon. And Ramon is, you know, in our best win to date, you know, the Tulane win, he was very good. So, you know, those guys need to get better, and we need more from those guys.
As far as working Andre Adams in, how much is it just with him being all right physically, and how much is it him just working out the rust, missing so much time?
Yeah, it's a combination of both. And Andre hasn't played in 2 years, 2+ years, and he's got a very late start. You know, all our guys were in the spring doing individual workouts, in July doing individual workouts, and he's, you know, behind the 8 ball. So I've said it. We're very patient with Andre. I've talked to Andre even before the season started about being patient with his process, and you know, we're just gonna, when we see that he's ready on the court to help us, then he'll get an opportunity.
I know you sprinkled in some zone, but is that more of an option moving forward?
I mean, we're practicing it, and I'm not a huge fan of it, but I do think you need a change of pace, and especially with some of the lineups we'll have, that we're going to need to do that, you know, and especially if foul trouble comes into play. And but it's I thought it was good. We turned them over with the zone right away, and then from there it went downhill fast. When we were in that zone, they were able to go high-low. They hit threes. So I didn't love, you know, what we did in that defense.
Are you not a huge fan of the zone in general, or just with this particular case?
I have a whole background that's mainly based on man-to-man defense and accountability, and you know, I hope that we get there this year with our man, but you know, you have to have some other things. You can't just be one-dimensional. So we will, you know, we have a zone that we're going to use from time to time.
I know you like to take one game at a time, but is there something from this stretch that you have coming up? You know, you've got coast-to-coast sort of swing that maybe you feel like the team can learn from and build going into conference play?
Well, one thing I'll learn is I'm probably not going to go east 3 times in 1 year again. We can start right there. You know, that's a challenge, and you know, we want to keep guys fresh, keep guys mentally fresh, physically fresh, and so that was a reach for me. You know, 2 times I wouldn't be opposed to it over the 2 months period, but you know, we're going east each week here, so you know, we got back. I think we're managing the time on the floor as best we can, so that we do stay fresh. We're not an extremely deep team with in terms of our rotation right now, so I'm trying to be mindful of that. But you know, all these teams are going to present different challenges. Kentucky is you know, one of the best teams that I've seen in a long time. And then you know, Purdue down the line after UNLV is New York is another high-level game. You know, experienced team, great inside game, and then you know, just it keeps on going from there. Creighton, you know, San Diego State. So we have some real good opportunities in front of us if you know, if we play the right way and play the way we're supposed to.
Good.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks,
Thank you,
guys.
Coach.